It is Monday, March 10th. Hello and welcome to the Sleepers Podcast, a podcast that is co-hosted by a Big Ten champion, Carter Elliott. How are you, Car? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Enjoyed it as an outright Big Ten champion. Feels good to be in this spot. Big Ten is saved. Also, Greg, start of a pretty special week. One of my favorite weeks, conference tournament week. I really enjoy this week. It's always fun to watch. You got games during the day. You have matchups that are going to be really good. Like as you head towards the weekend, there's a world where you're seeing the best of the Big Ten, the best of the Big 12, the best of the SEC, play with banners on the line. So it's a very fun week to me leading up to Selection Sunday. I'm going to be in a very chipper mood.
Yeah, it is. One of the best 2 or 3 weeks of the year for college basketball fans. Feast week, I love that week. Conference tournament week, love that week. First week of the NCAA tournament, love that week. Just to give y'all a little update on how Sleepers things are going to work this week, we are doing conference tournament previews and recaps as we did last year for the 5 biggest conference tournaments. So we will have every single game covered between the ACC, the SEC, the Big East, the Big 12, and of course the Big 10. I'll give a shout out to the folks on our roster who are going to help with this project. So Carter and I will be doing every single Big 10 preview and recap. Dion and Brian Ralph will be doing every SEC game. Bryce and Tariq will be doing the Big East games. If you haven't seen them on previews and recaps this year, you're going to love those guys. Go check them out. They're the Duo Behind the Hoodie and the Headband podcast, and we're huge fans of theirs. We got Riley Davis and Brian Ralph together on the ACC, and then Subi and you are pairing up for the Big 12. You wanted to do 2 conferences this year, Carter.
Yeah, and listen, I love the Big 12. Also, it gives me a chance to push my not even push my BYU propaganda, but it's time for me to stand in arm in arms with my Mormons.
Yeah. Hashtag save the Big 12.
Yeah. Hashtag keep Ruby Frankie locked up.
It should be fun. So just like last year, all of these games, they're very quick turnaround games, right? 24 hours between games, starting as early as noon, early in the afternoon. We're going to have previews and recaps for all of them. Producer JK is going to be locked in all week. Just a very, very heavy workload. It is a lot of work to get all these videos up in a timely fashion. And we're really thankful that we've got a great team that's going to help us out with this year and cover this sport as much as we can in the biggest weeks of the year. So make sure you go subscribe to the Sleepers YouTube channel so you don't miss any of these. Definitely want you to tune in to as many of these as you can. And hopefully we'll make this as fun as possible for all of our listeners out there. While all of this is going on, I'm on baby watch. It is due date week of baby number 2 as we speak, Cart. So literally, baby number 2's due date is Selection Sunday, and that's coming up fast, as you can imagine. So I'm on watch. At any moment this week, I could just disappear in the middle of the night for the foreseeable future to welcome another child into the world.
So do you guys have names picked out?
We do.
We do. All right. So can you text me on the side? Let me know.
Yeah. So I can just say it if you're cool with that.
I'm going to stand for Mal here. Don't say it.
No, that's fine. So if it's a boy, it's Jigathon Wolf Boy Waddell.
That's
And if it's a girl, we actually don't have names picked out.
My favorite pastime of you is before Sleepers even was a thing is when you would literally text Mal and be like, "We're naming our son Brazdakis Waddell."
Yeah, I had there's you could literally just Google search or Twitter search my name at GWizzy12, like naming my firstborn. And there's probably actually, I want to do that right now.
Please, there's some classics. Please pull them up.
This was a good bit for a few years.
It still is. Honestly, when it went away, I guess, when you actually had a child, but kind of wanted to come back. I do actually think I know the name if you guys have a boy. If I was listening.
Twitter search is not helping.
What?
Yeah.
That's not ideal.
Yeah, no, I must just be searching the wrong names, but
those are classics.
yeah.
All right.
Not
Well,
great. That didn't go the way we thought. Sorry.
all right. Well, maybe on tomorrow's episode we'll find it. All right. You want to get to the YouTube comment of the day?
Yeah, but just to close the book on what we said, when I disappeared, the show will go on. We have contingency plans in place. So Cart's gonna put this program, this channel on his back basically for a couple weeks. Hopefully it still stands when I return. But I will, if all goes well, which thankfully, big man upstairs, we are expecting a fully happy and healthy baby. So if all goes well, we will you'll probably see me pop in and out. Maybe not as much as normal, but I'm still gonna be watching all these games, folks, even while I'm rocking a newborn to sleep and my 2-year-old toddler's playing in the background. It's gonna be a great week, and I'm looking forward to it. And Sleepers content goes nowhere if I disappear.
There was a great opportunity for you to say that it's carried on Carter's back, his very big back. And I can't believe you let that go by the wayside.
And Purdue fans, I'm not ducking. I want to get out in front of that. Like I'm gonna literally be delivering a child, and Purdue fans are gonna be like, "Where are you, Greg?" Like delivering a child is what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
If Caleb first was doing it, you guys would be shaping all types of ass. But Greg goes to do it, and here everyone's up in arms. You speaking my language? Let's go to the YouTube comment of the day. I also listened to the first part of our episode comments the other day, trying to find out if I said something that our wives would get mad at me about. It's an awful listen when I do the okay, I mean, a truly terrible listen, but I got nothing else. I'm like Tim, I'm like Tim Wakefield with the knuckleball. It's all I got, man.
I watched the film, and that's who I am.
Yeah, like where I'm in film, coach, like you gotta be better than that. I'm just like, coach, that's all I got. So like you need to make some adjustments. That's really all I got. Um da- 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 let's see here. Okay. This seems to be a very requested thing. Greg, is there any chance your songs or your ballads are they written down?
Are the songs or ballads written down?
Yeah.
Like in my notes.
Oh, so like if Sleepers provided you with studio time, could we get an EP?
We could put an EP together, yes.
Okay. That might be an off-season project.
I think
And I know
I would need to take like a week off, basically.
that's fine if we get our album.
Yeah. We could make it happen.
And I want it to be a classic one. I want to sell CDs on the streets like Girl Scout cookies.
What would the name of the album be?
Saved,
That could work.
saved. It'd be a gospel album. We have Riley on the intro just preaching. Um, should we get to the Discord comments?
Sure.
Can you tell the people why they should join the Discord?
Yeah, join the Discord. It's a great place to be. It actually has been a much more enjoyable go around in the Discord for me the second time around, which is lovely. I've taken a much healthier mental approach to interacting with folks in the Discord. It's the number one way to support us. We're still trying to figure out sponsor stuff for March. There's a couple things that we're working on that hopefully will cross the finish line in the near future. But yeah, took a pretty sizable financial hit just to make sure we can still deliver this content day to day before the end of the season. And if we don't start to find sponsors for the off season, no clue how sustainable this will be in the long term. So if you want to make sure it's sustainable, want to make sure this is something we still deliver year round, even into the NBA draft, even into off-season months like last year, join the Discord. That's the number one way to make sure that that continues to happen.
Couldn't say it any better. Start today with Just Snacky. The word on the street is Dame Sarr is only committing if Riley goes to the draft. If you were Brad, would you drop the 2 million to keep Riley or spend the 1 million on Sarr and recruit elsewhere with the other money?
Ooh, I haven't heard the word on that street, but now I kind of want to do like a short video on that.
Should we do one maybe? Well, I could give a quick answer, but even if we do a video,
Yeah, do it.
2 million on Riley.
You just think he's a better player?
Yeah,
I do feel like in general, year two of a guy of that caliber is more valuable than year one. So
that's also part of it.
I think I'd probably say the same.
Okay, feel good about that. Mano IDK. Who do you predict will be preseason number one in the rankings next year?
Hmm. Duke with Cooper Flag back.
I was gonna say Miami.
It depends on who all comes back for these teams, but I mean, it's so hard to say without the portal. I think Purdue and Michigan State are going to be up there. If Jace Richardson's back, Michigan State might be preseason number one. If he's not, Purdue could be one or two, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else we're missing necessary?
I mean, Kansas will probably be really high again. UConn will be up there again, I
I
think.
think Texas Tech could have a chance.
Are they getting everybody back?
They get Toppin back. They get Christian Anderson back. I don't know if they get Williams or McMillan back though.
Millen's a senior. Williams could theoretically come back. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, so they would probably be up there for me as well.
Probably Duke.
Yeah, but Duke with or without the boosters.
Duke with Cooper Flag.
Okay. War chant. Braden Smith is a great point guard, probably going to make me cry for mama. That being said, Boswell is not an elite defender, but has had some very bright moments as a defender, such as the performance against Danny Wolf and having an impact on Oates benching Sears after basically shutting Sears down as examples. I think the worst matchup for Illinois is TKR. I think TKR might score 30 plus. No disrespect to Smith, but Illinois has someone who can slow him down a bit, whereas nobody can guard TKR really. Guys who profile as fours or fives have been the guys that have hurt the Illini most this season.
Yeah. TKR seems like a problem then.
Yeah. Also, Des Claude killed y'all, and he wasn't a 4-5.
So this is dumb to like be really fleshing this out when we don't know the result of the Illinois Purdue game because people are going to listen to this Monday. But I just want to say this: this is going to be a competitive game, a toss-up game. Just because we picked Purdue doesn't mean that we don't expect this to like come down to the final possession. I think both teams are going to do their thing. Um, I saw a lot of people respond on Twitter like, "Gee, we've changed our defense." I heard that about Michigan 2 weeks ago too. Like if you have to completely play a brand new style of defense that you just found like a week ago, that's different than what you did all season, I don't really trust that against a team with as good of a post scorer as TKR and as good of a perimeter scorer as Braden. One of those two is going to crack that.
Yeah, fair point. I'm Aner. Thinking the Boozer twins will go to Miami when this sequence of events occurred is insanity. One, leak of Lucas to Miami. Two, Duke goes to Miami for a road game. Three, Boozer twins host episode of the Brotherhood podcast. Four, Duke beats the hog piss out of Miami with the Boozer twins in attendance. Miami will take Henderson and Foster, and that's all they get.
Yeah, we'll see. That's not what smart people think.
That's no other way to put it, truly. Um, let's see here. Burner 605. Congrats to Carter. Thank you, Burner 605. Also, congrats from T. Steffi and MSU fans. How would you rank this team to the past MSU Big Ten champion teams? I mean, for me, it's up there given what I thought this team was going to be. I think this team is vastly overachieved for what this roster is and who they are and what makes them up. So, I mean, I would just say it's up there for me. G, do you got any comment on where this ranks as far as Michigan State Big Ten champion teams?
Well, they've all been so special and meaningful to me. So,
I mean, no, I was going to say the last one was when you were there, but no, you weren't.
This is I think, second favorite Michigan State regular season I've ever seen. My favorite was Denzel and Bryn together.
That was fun. A lot of fun.
But that was also just because of my history with those guys in Lansing. It was really special to watch it play out that way.
Yeah, I agree. Zabum Bafu. First question here.
Zaboomafu?
Huh?
Zaboomafu.
Is that what it is?
Zaboomafu. Is that what you said?
Zabumbafu. What is
You
that?
don't know Zaboomafu?
No, who is that?
You you don't know Zaboomafu, Cart?
Is that like a TV character or something?
Zaboomafu was a great show, a great TV show back in the day. Zaboomafu.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
In
you
fact,
are.
like, weren't we doing lemur talk the other day?
Boom. Both.
Zaboomafoo.
First question for him. He just joined. Welcome to the Discord, by the way, Zamufu. Will Braden be the preseason favorite for National Player of the Year next year?
Will Braden be he should be, I think, right?
I think he should be. I mean, you're thinking of like all Americans that could come back.
Unless Cooper Flag's back.
Cooper Flag is not back.
Eh.
All hail the Pope. Can you all do a grid on former Kentucky players? I don't know if that's fair to hash out in the comment section, but maybe we will either do that for you in the Discord personally, or maybe if we have a segment opening next week, we can do that. Or later this week, we'll do that for you. All hail the Pope. I
That sounds
appreciate you
good to
not
me.
saying, huh?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, also I'm thank you for not doing the whole Oates versus Pope thing for the first time in a while. Um, Last comment today, Hoosier and Coogee. I'm dating myself here. The best coaching job I've seen in the Big Ten in my lifetime would be Bob Knight's 88, 89, damn, Unc, championship team. At best, they were the fifth to sixth best roster. Michigan and Illinois both made the Final Four that year. Second best this year, Spartans. Izzo's best pure coaching job yet. No doubt, Coach of the Year in the Big Ten, and should get more consideration for National Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I've flipped around on this.
Where do you think he like? Because I don't think he's the National Coach of the Year, but like, where would he rank there?
Top 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's kind of where I got him.
Yeah, it's been a great year.
Yeah, who do you have as National Coach of the Year?
It's hard not to pick Kelsey for me.
Kelsey.
Todd Golden, Pat Kelsey. I think Tom Izzo are probably the 3 best candidates for me.
Yeah, I still. I mean, I hate how teams are like punished because like I still give Shire credit. Like he's the coach of the best team in the sport, and
Yeah,
Pearl did a great job with Auburn. So yeah, that's a we'll see. But yeah, that does it for the Discord comments today.
great job, Discord comments. Okay. We're brought to you by YouTube's compliance department. Card, how have you been compliant today?
I am so compliant that before I even celebrated what Jigathon did to Brock Harding last night, I made sure that I was compliant before doing that.
Thank you for that. Let's get to the
Also,
show.
excuse my language on our videos if that's not compliant.
Yeah, let's get to the show. A couple nights ago in the Alabama-Florida game, Jay Billis made an impassioned plea for college basketball to give up the halves and embrace playing 4 quarters the way that women's college basketball has adopted in the last couple of years. Here's Jay Billis's exact quotes on this. This was on an ESPN2 broadcast. He said, "We need to go to quarters. We're the only game of basketball played in the world that doesn't have quarters. We have to change the replay rule. Refs spend more time watching TV than they do officiating the game." I don't know what the second part of that has to do with the first part of that, but did not expect Jay Billis kind of advocating harshly for 4 quarters instead of 2 halves in college hoops. Do you think that college basketball should adopt 4 quarters?
No, so I don't think it matters. I don't. I like the whole. I get there needs to be some cohesion amongst how basketball is played across the nation, across the world. But I just feel like we're grasping at straws here, just like nitpicking the fact that the games are 2 halves instead of 4 quarters.
You think it's nitpicking?
Yeah.
Like nothing's broke, don't fix it. Break.
Or like even like you change it to 4 quarters and okay, like so.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I like to you just watching basketball. You watch the NBA. I'm sure you've watched women's college basketball games too. Do you find it more enjoyable to watch a basketball game that's 4 quarters instead of 2 halves?
Honestly, no.
You don't.
No. It feels like I'm just watching basketball, to be honest with you.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
So would you be upset if they do go to 4 quarters? Or would you just be like, who cares?
I'd be like, oh shit, we're playing 4 quarters now, huh?
Okay.
It's way bigger. There's way bigger issues at hand here.
I mean, he has a point that like prep levels play 4 quarters. It really is the only level that only plays 2 halves.
There's also prep levels that don't have shot clocks.
True.
So like to me, there's bigger issues at hand here.
What are the biggest issues that you think need to be addressed?
Refs stink. That review thing actually does need to be addressed. That's ridiculous how many reviews there are. That honestly, that was the best point that was made. I have three changes. The quarter's probably be the last of it. It'd be the reviews, the number of fouls that college players get. That might be one for me. Change it to six fouls
Just bump it
and
up.
bump it up. And then third would be no has whatsoever. 40 minutes.
No stoppages at all.
No stop. No. 40 minutes. Michigan State goes 10 deep. We don't need halftime.
Here's a proposal. What if you know how like at Vanderbilt they just put the benches in a different place
Yeah.
on the baseline instead? What if every home arena got to pick their own rules?
Like the home court advantage is that it's a completely different game there.
Yeah, like when you come into Mackey, there are six fouls because we want there to be six fouls. And then when you go to the Brez, it's one continuous 40-minute game with no stoppages. And like, like just
Yeah.
allow the program to define it how they want.
I love that.
Call your own fouls.
Yeah. At home games for St. John's, there's no 3-point line.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
It's all
We
twos.
could probably come up with some good ones. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I was we should no, we
Yeah,
shouldn't.
I got some I got some I got
Yeah,
some
let's not.
changes.
Let's not, because I do too. Do you think that it's inevitable that it will go to four quarters?
Yes.
Kind of feels that way.
Yeah. Also, when's the last time Jay Billis has said something and it doesn't happen? I'm
Yeah.
watching Billis.
I feel like he has some intel.
He's got some power too.
Yeah, I could see that. You don't want to mess with Jay, that handsome, bald man that I have frames of in my house.
I wish we had a good relationship with a Jay.
Yeah, me too. You'd be a good Jay.
I would be a great Jay.
Jay Elliott.
Jay Elliott.
Isn't that an actor?
Um, I don't think so. I have looked up my name before. There's a famous composer named Carter Elliott.
I bet you're lying.
No, I'm serious. And his jumper stinks.
Carter, that would be Elliot Carter.
Oh, for real?
Makes sense.
So quarters or halves?
Halves. We don't need to change everything about college basketball just to change it.
That's true.
We don't need to expand the tournament. We don't need to just, oh, the quarters are better. No, they're not. Just
Shrink the
we all
tournament.
love this game for what it is. Let's embrace it for what it is. If there's something unique and special about this sport, let's keep it that way. Unique and special. Fix the things that are actually broken. Get us some officialing answers.
Salute.
Over the weekend, they announced Arkansas and Duke playing in Chicago next year in a random new single game matchup. That's exciting. John Calipari, John Shire. Battle of the Johns.
Battle of the Perrys. You have Calipari and Shalipari.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, the one and done factory gonna square off. It should be fun. I like this. This is a great matchup, but it got me thinking. What other matchups do we want to see? If we could be like the big college basketball czar schedule makers, what matchups would we make for next season only?
So I've always felt this way. And I think it might have been a topic we brought up a long time ago. But if a coach goes to another school, I want them to play their previous school.
Okay. Like that should be a mandatory thing. Like if you leave, you have to play them. You have to go through what Cal did.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Okay, so who would qualify for that? You want Miami against Duke? That's already happening.
Yeah, that's already happening, so that's not one. Louisville, Kentucky.
They already played this year, and they're probably playing next year.
That's true. So
Yeah,
honestly, so all these coaches really go to schools that they already play.
for the most part, that's what's happened in recent years. I'm thinking more like, okay, like I think Arkansas and Duke is kind of fun because they're kind of the two schools that still want to do one and done freshmen right now. So
Hmm.
what other single game, just non-conference, this would be a fun matchup do we want to see? I have a couple that I think would be good.
Throw it out there because all my fun matchups, I'm just realizing already happened, so it's really pissing me off.
I would like to see the same way we just matched up the two one and done factories. Let's match up the two European factories.
Illinois, BYU.
Let me get Illinois versus BYU, the two programs that have been sending their assistant coaches overseas every single month during the season to recruit overseas. I think that'd be really fun.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one a lot. Um,
The only issue with that is that I kind of want to use BYU somewhere else for Debanza for next year specifically,
like BYU versus UNC.
or like honestly BYU Duke.
That would,
Debanza versus the Boozers or Debanza. And he, when he committed on first take, he was shouting out, "Who says I can't play Duke?"
yeah, that is true. That's a good one. Who would be like the two bag schools to play to square off?
Ooh,
Because even if it's not right, like what if we could match up? Like, let's say Indiana does the right things in the portal, and you have Indiana versus this school.
I don't know.
Indiana versus
Or
my.
yeah, what about just like Indiana, Kentucky? Mark Pope's got freshmen that he's paying that are coming through. Indiana theoretically with a new head coach, with a new roster, with a bunch of money, kind of reigniting the Christian Watford shot rivalry game.
I like that. That's a good one.
Okay,
That's
let's
a good
put Indiana, Kentucky on the list.
one.
I kind of want BYU Duke instead of BYU Illinois. Is there a different Euro factory we could pair Illinois with?
I don't know. Like a lot of the European, like there's a couple of European guys that are like Creighton, but like we don't want to see that.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun.
Illinois Creighton,
Yeah.
I suppose.
You're like, no.
I mean, it's not doing it for me.
That's a little European.
So who would Michigan State's matchup be?
I have one proposal there.
Houston?
Rick Pitino.
St. John's versus Michigan State at the Garden.
The two Hall of Fame coaches that are still doing it their toughness, grimy way, that are on top of the world again.
I like that.
All right, so Michigan State, St. John's. We need two more.
I kind of want to match Florida up with somebody.
Just for funsies.
Yeah.
Who would that be?
The thing is, the great matchup is Oats versus Golden, but that happens already.
Yep. It's
The
hard because
SEC,
all the SEC teams are together.
yeah, the SEC ruins this.
It does. You're right.
It ruins this. It ruins this a great deal. Or even like the Auburn Houston matchup was a great matchup this year, but that happened as well. So that's one I probably would have thrown out there too.
Yeah.
Bruce Pearl already plays Tennessee.
I'm trying to think of some like player specific ones.
Like players playing certain schools.
Like I Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer as seniors. Who do we want to see them play?
Ooh. Kentucky.
I mean, that would be fun.
It'd be them versus Caden and Jasper.
Like the young guards versus the old guards.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna load up. Kentucky gets to play Purdue and Indiana.
Yeah, we're really filling up their non-con.
Honestly, bring back like the crosstown showdown, whatever it was, and just put Kentucky, Indiana, and Purdue in a round robin.
Oh, that'd be elite.
Be fun.
That'd be super elite.
Okay.
What's
We need one more cart.
I know I feel like we're missing like us. There's one that's right in front of our face that I can't picture right now.
I want Jacobs. I want Dusty May versus John Jacobs.
No one else wants that.
Okay.
We can do Michigan, but not
Well, then you give me the answer. I've delivered four answers on this, and you've just agreed with all of them. Give me something.
Vanderbilt, Michigan State.
Okay. He's gone by then, though.
No, I can't do that. Ooh. What about Wisconsin, Kansas? Actually, no. No, 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 no. Because I want Michigan to actually be somewhere in this. What about like a Michigan, Arizona?
What's the pitch?
Young quarter zip rocking coaches.
Eh,
Doesn't do
lost
it,
my interest.
Lost it.
Yeah, I lost my interest.
Gonzaga or Arizona?
Yeah, we never got that at Atlantis, did we?
No.
All right, Gonzaga, Arizona, but also like, who cares?
What about you? Should Hurley be involved in this in some way?
Yeah.
Hurley Izzo?
No.
Hurley Underwood.
UConn. Yeah, UConn, Illinois, round two.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. All right. So that means the five that we've added are Duke, BYU, Debanza versus Boozers and or Flag. Indiana, Kentucky. Why did we want Indiana, Kentucky? Bag school versus like bag school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bag off.
Michigan State versus St. John's, Patino versus Izzo, Purdue versus Kentucky, vet guards versus freshman guards, and then UConn versus Illinois.
A lot of juice.
Feels telling that we put two Kentucky games in there. I feel like we're gonna love that team next year.
Yeah, we are.
Third topic today, let's do a March Madness tier maker. And I've heard the feedback. People want us to put this on the screen, but we just don't know how to do that. I got to get with our producer on that. Maybe we'll flip that on for next year when we figure out how to do it. But for now, Cart, we're just going to speak to our March Madness tiers. And the rules are simple. Just like every time we've done a tier making list, we get to make up whatever rules we want, but I want to represent basically all the teams that are about to factor into the NCAA tournament and put them into tiers.
Please.
Okay, so lead the way. What's our first tier?
Tier is first tier should be Duke.
You think they are in their own thing without Auburn and Houston?
It should be the favorite.
I might need to be talked into that. I agree, but does it make more sense to really separate them for like March tiers versus just like favorites with Auburn or favorites with Auburn and Houston?
So I was in my head, I was looking at a Duke tier and then Houston Auburn tier and then move on.
Auburn's going to be the number one overall seed, though.
For sure.
I think so.
What if they lose again?
I think they're still getting it.
Okay. So then Duke Auburn in the same tier?
Are you cutting Houston? Why are we cutting Houston from that
So
tier?
here's I guess here's what I'm working through it. If I don't get Duke by itself, then I would think I would put those three in the same tier and then we can name it. I mean, you can name it something quirky or you just name it the favorites.
Well, you know I want to name it quirkily.
Yeah, I know you do.
What about if one of these three doesn't win the title, we'd be shocked.
There we go.
Okay. So tier one is if one of these doesn't win the title, we'd be shocked.
Yeah.
And it is Duke, Auburn, and Houston. Okay.
So the next tier should be they can win a title, but we would be shocked.
They can win a title, but we would be shocked. I love that. All right.
Yeah.
Or ooh, idea. If one of these doesn't win the title, we'd be surprised, is the first tier. Then the second tier is they can win a title, but we would be surprised. Then the third tier is they can win a title, but we would be shocked.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So this one is they can win a title,
But we would be surprised.
but we'd be surprised.
And I think that's Florida.
That's Florida, that's Bama.
You skip Tennessee.
I'm not putting them even on this.
I want Tennessee and Michigan State in this group.
What if I gave you just Michigan State?
Sure, you're happy to give me Michigan State.
Yeah, that's my new thing. I like counter offering with a counter offer that's really bad that I think is fair.
No, I want Tennessee and Michigan State. I think Tennessee can win a national title with Lanier and Zig.
And they got a zig.
Lanier. That
They got a
defense
zig.
and Lanier.
They got a zig.
Ziggy. Yeah.
You know what I got?
A jig.
A jig.
That's why they both got to go in.
All right, so this category is, does Florida have a jig?
No.
They got Walter Clayton. Can he be the wig?
No. You're not doing this.
Alex Condon is wiggy.
It would definitely be Elijah Martin that is the one that does this, by the way.
Okay. All right, fine. I'm fine with those teams.
Okay. All right. Florida, Alabama, Michigan State, Tennessee. All right. I look forward to the tweet from OBJ that's upset that we said we would be surprised if Michigan State wins a national title. They can win a title, but we would be shocked.
They could win a title, but we'd be shocked.
Texas Tech,
Texas Tech,
Iowa State.
Iowa State. Ah,
Cutting it off there, or are there more?
St. John's?
St. John's.
Yeah.
What? Ooh. What separates St. John's from Michigan State? Are we sure St. John's shouldn't be in the Michigan State group?
Resume's better.
Yeah, but resumes are out the window when you get to March, and they got Kadari. They got RJ. They got that defense. It's very similar to Michigan State to me.
They don't have a Jace.
I think Kadari and RJ can beat Jace.
They aren't. Okay, maybe St. John's belongs in the same category as Michigan State. I agree.
Let's put St. John's with Michigan State and drop Tennessee.
Okay.
You're happy with that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So they can win a title, but we would be shocked is now Tennessee, Texas Tech, and Iowa State.
I can't wait to get to the next tier and figure out how I can drop Tennessee another one.
Is there anybody else? Here's the other teams we could theoretically be putting in one of these. Gonzaga, Wisconsin, Purdue, Maryland, Arizona, Missouri, Kentucky, Clemson, Illinois, Texas A&M, St. Mary's, Kansas, BYU, Louisville.
Okay, so the next tier should be they can win a national championship.
I don't think there's any more that can. I think our national title winners in the top 10 that we just put in three tiers.
I was gonna say, okay, there's the next tier, then they think they can, but how?
I don't know if any others think they can. I think
You
it's
don't think
just like we move on to we're not talking about a title anymore. We're
so? The
talking about
next
other
tier
things.
is steal a Final Four spot from the national title contenders.
Or like let's make a cute little Final Four run.
Yeah,
Let's make a cute Final Four run.
it's Final Four, but with the silly face. I literally wanted to be like that on the kids, like Final Four.
Okay, Final Four silly face. Who's in Final Four silly face? I also, before we start ripping off Big Ten teams here, I would advocate we don't put any Big Ten teams in this, and then there's a tier below this that's like Big Ten roulette, lose in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So this one would be Gonzaga, Arizona,
Gonzaga, Arizona.
Clemson,
I think Clemson's got to drop a little more.
BYU.
BYU's got to be like a surprise one.
Okay.
I Kansas, Kentucky, Marquette.
Marquette really disappoints me, but probably in there. What about, is Missouri in there? No. Texas A&M.
We gotta bulk this up a little. I just don't know with who.
Who do we have in there right now?
Gonzaga and Arizona.
That's it. All right, so
Yeah.
throw Kentucky in there. They can get hot, I think. Oof. Do we mess up not putting Iowa State in this category?
So I love the name of Final Four Silly Face,
Yeah.
but I'm as we start to flesh it out, I'm starting to think maybe there's a better way to cut it up.
Talk to me.
Teams that Evan Mia tells us to stop sleeping on, and it's Gonzaga and Kansas.
I love nothing more than to make an Evan Mia reference.
Okay, so let's just do teams Evan Mia s says we shouldn't sleep on
This is the Maradona tier.
for Final Four. That's Kansas and Gonzaga.
Yes.
Okay, so then that now means we have like Kentucky and Arizona that we want to get to before the Big Ten roulette. But I feel like Kentucky and Louisville should be in the same tier somewhere.
How about like they can get there, but what the hell?
But what if they get hot dough?
What if they get hot though?
But what if they get hot dough and it's
Yeah.
Arizona, Kentucky, Louisville?
Arizona, Kentucky, Louisville. If that's the category, is BYU not in that category?
BYU's in the category.
Yeah.
But what if they get hot dough? Arizona, Kentucky, Louisville, BYU.
Yep.
Okay. All
Also,
right.
put Kansas State in there.
No.
Okay.
Now we are into Big Ten roulette.
Purdue, Maryland,
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin,
Illinois.
Illinois.
Does Michigan still get to be on this or are they out? Because you could put Michigan and UCLA.
I'm gonna put UCLA here,
Oh, come on.
and I am gonna put Michigan.
Okay. Because yeah,
Patriot.
out of those six, like five of them are going to lose in the first two rounds, and one of them is going to end up in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and that's that roulette.
Big Ten roulette. Okay, I feel pretty good. Is there anything else we haven't done like Clemson, Missouri, Texas A&M,
Uh,
St.
uh,
Mary's?
can get there. Can get there. Would be pissed if they are.
Can 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 get to a Final Four, but ew.
What the hell are you doing on our flight to San Antonio tier?
Yeah, but ew. Oh, yeah, I like that. Okay, so that's literally all these. Missouri, Missouri, Clemson, Texas A&M, St. Mary's, Ole Miss, and Marquette.
I kind of like it. Ole Miss got. I like Ole Miss though.
No, they got to be in there.
All right,
Still
fine,
Ole Miss.
fine.
And that leaves us with oh, do we want to do like sleeper, like magical run? Like
Yeah,
Cinderella Magic?
yeah.
Cinderella Magic would be UC San Diego, who rocks.
Vanderbilt,
No.
Memphis, New Mexico, Arkansas.
I don't think we can call. I feel like UC San Diego and New Mexico have to be in there alone. And Memphis and Arkansas would need to be like their own tier.
All right, we can make another tier for Memphis and Arkansas.
Yeah. Is there, and like, so I want UC San Diego, New Mexico, McNeese,
Yeah,
North Texas,
do love North Texas.
and Drake.
Yep, that feels right.
Okay.
We put
Okay.
Loyola in this tier.
What'd you say?
We put Loyola in this tier.
They got to win their conference tourney first, but if they do, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, Cinderella Magic, and then like lukewarm, like lukewarm big brand magic.
What about like, damn, y'all here again?
Well, I was gonna do Memphis and Arkansas.
We could do
Like it's
like
the same
Mem.
as Cinderella Magic, but it's just gross.
We could do like we could do like Arkansas, Memphis, like North Carolina, Yukon, like oh y'all again tier,
UConn has to be in their own tier, and it's just the Hurley tier.
the Hurley tier.
Yep.
Okay, so what's the name of this tier where it's just like,
I think it's just teams that are gross that we think could end up like actually making a run, but worse than the gross ones.
yeah, this is like three-legged dog tier. Like we care for them, but know they have deficiencies.
I just like we're gonna make this and call PJ Haggerty in Memphis a three-legged dog. That feels so wrong.
Yeah, it probably does.
Actually, you know what? Let's put Memphis in that can get to a Final Four, but you.
Okay.
And then Cinderella Magic, and then like dark, evil villain Magic.
God.
And that's Arkansas, UNC.
Yep.
Is there anybody
UConn.
else that's dark, evil
Honestly,
villain Magic?
UConn.
UConn's got to be in their own, though.
If it's dark evil magic, then it's UConn. It's some back-to-back magic.
No, they get their own tier.
Fine.
I'm sorry, but they do.
It's
And their
okay.
own tier is, yeah, their own tier is just literally, I'm the best coach in the fucking sport.
All right then. Can we throw Woodson and Indiana in that category?
You want Indiana there?
Yeah.
Or is Indiana the dark, evil villain Magic?
Woody with one last trick. Throw Indiana in that one.
All right, so here's our official March tiers. If one of these teams doesn't win the title, we'd be surprised. Duke, Auburn, and Houston. They can win a title, but we would be surprised. Florida, Alabama, Michigan State, St. John's. They can win a title, but we would be shocked. Tennessee, Texas Tech, Iowa State. Teams Evan Mia says we shouldn't sleep on for the Final Four. Kansas and Gonzaga. I'm the best fucking coach in the sport. UConn. But what if they get hot dough? Arizona, Kentucky, Louisville, BYU. Big Ten roulette, Purdue, Maryland, Wisconsin, Illinois, UCLA, Michigan can get to a Final Four, but you, Missouri, Clemson, Texas A&M, St. Mary's, Ole Miss, Marquette, Memphis, Cinderella Magic, UC San Diego, New Mexico, McNeese, North Texas, Drake, Dark Evil Villain Magic, Arkansas, UNC, Indiana.
I love that tier
Is there
list.
anyone we want to add that's just like, please lose in the first round?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
We left like Creighton off. Does that matter?
Please, yeah, they could go, please. Please lose
Creighton
in
and
the first.
Baylor.
Please lose in the first round. Baylor, Oregon, Georgia, Ohio State.
What about please don't make us take them seriously?
Please, no, this category is please don't make it out of Dayton.
But then that's like Indiana.
True.
Like I'm looking for somewhere to put Creighton and Baylor. Like we get it. You know what
Just
I mean?
the we're good check please tier.
I like that.
Like we don't no, we're good. Thank you.
We're good. Check, please. Creighton, Baylor. You know what? I'd advocate we bump Michigan into this tier.
Like we're good, but thank you.
Yep. Creighton, Baylor, Michigan, VCU,
Texas,
Texas, Ohio State,
Ohio State, Georgia.
Georgia, Oklahoma.
Yeah. Xavier. They've been kind of fun.
I don't care, Xavier.
All right, yeah, check please.
Xavier. Okay, I think that's everybody.
All right. That feels
Oh,
good.
Mississippi State.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mississippi State. Okay.
For the love of God, check please.
Okay. Do I need to repeat them again? Do I need to repeat them again, or are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay. Okay. If somebody could make us that graphics we can post on social, that'd be great. Thanks. One big thing presented by us. I'm dying. People listening to this that aren't watching aren't going to see it, but you just did a great check, please motion to the waiter. That was awesome.
I mean, Mm, mm, mm.
Okay. Do you really, you don't use your words when you do that?
You
It's
don't want
all visual.
you don't want to like woo, woo. You don't want to do all that. You just
You
want to
don't, you don't actually verbally get their attention?
No, you just kind of want to be like, oh, you kind of catch them walking by, like, oh, yeah, no, that's just the bill when you get it. Quick second, thank you.
This is cracking me up, man.
My one big thing today is that I'm a champ, bitch. That's all I got. That's all I got, dog. Outright banner me respectfully, you know what I'm saying? Word to Jigathon. We at the field house with it.
My one big thing is rest in peace, Andy Isaac.
Yeah, for real. Actually.